everyone, welcome to a full day of sewing. I am preparing my Christmas collection, which will hopefully be launching the first week of November. I am still waiting on a fabric order from Etsy, so that includes 5 different fabrics, but I did go to Hobby Lobby yesterday and picked out a few different Christmas and holiday themed fabrics I thought were really cute that we'll go ahead and test out in this video. I could not resist this pink Santa and tree fabric. I think it's so cute. And then I also really liked this red and white snowflake one that I think will be really cute for wristlets and scrunchies. This one that I thought would be pretty nice for book sleeves. I don't know if I'm gonna launch it or not. It's pretty like big and busy. We'll see how it looks and if I want to launch that. And then I also picked out this white one that has snowflakes. It's kind of hard to see. They're really subtle, but I thought this would be cute as an inner fabric for some of the other designs that I have coming. And then I had this one in my fabric stash. I don't remember when I bought this. I think I might have got it with my fall fabric order back in September, just because I wanted to see how it looked. But I think this could be really cute as a book sleeve. And then one of the fabrics on the way is this design, but in red. So we'll be testing some of these out today, as well as sewing some other stuff and just make it a full day of sewing. I'll make some book sleeves, wristlets, scrunchies, maybe even tackle another boxy bag. But yeah, I'm very excited to see how this looks as a book sleeve. So this is gonna be our very first project for this video, and I just think it's really cute. So hopefully it turns out cute. And I did get a lot. I got 3 yards because the Christmas fabric was 50% off. So I went a little bit crazy with this one, but I just think it's so cute. So let's go ahead and cut out this fabric and make it into a book sleeve. So for Christmas, we always decorate like in whites and reds. Sometimes I'll do a little bit of like silver and green just to get that classic feel. But I also really love pink. If you couldn't tell by my shop theme, I really love pink. It's my favorite color. But I went ahead and cut out the 2 outer and the 2 inner pieces. So now I just need to also cut out my batting, which I just ordered some more from Amazon. But for this collection, I do not think I'm going to offer these with the bows. I think it's really cute, but I think you guys prefer the ones without the bow, or at least a majority. And I can agree that the bow is not really necessary unless you're putting something smaller in the book sleeve that could potentially fall out. But it's more so just for looks and to look cute, I think. So I'm pretty sure for this one, I won't do bows. If you want a bow tie on yours, maybe 2 or 3 of you like the same fabric and all want bows, then yeah, I'll just do a whole listing for that fabric. That way you guys can get it if you do want that option. But let me go ahead and grab my batting and we'll cut that out, and then we'll be ready to start quilting and sewing. Okay, both outer pieces are quilted and trimmed. So whenever I launched my fall collection, I ordered some custom tags. And if you've been watching my channel, then you've already seen these, or if you ordered any of my fall collection. But they're so cute. They have my logo on them. I got these from Etsy, and I think I just searched like custom sew in logo tags or something like that. And what's really cool about these is they also have I think it's like a laminated backing, so that way when you put it on, it's just a little more like durable and stays a little bit better in place. And you can even iron it on so it will be like kind of sticky. I don't do any of that. I just kind of hold it in place, but I think these are really cute. So I'm gonna go ahead and sew one of these on to the book sleeve, and then we'll actually sew the two front pieces together. For our next project, I'm going to test out this red and white snowflake fabric for a wristlet, which I think is gonna look really cute. For my fall collection, I said I wasn't gonna go too crazy, and then I ended up releasing quite a bit of wristlets and book sleeves. So for this one, once again, I'm saying I don't wanna go too crazy, but I did already pick out like 7 fabrics, so I think I've already kind of, like, that's out the window at this point. But for the wristlets, I do think there's only gonna be 2 designs. But let's go ahead and cut out our fabric. I also really like this fabric for potential scrunchies. I'm not gonna launch scrunchies yet, but I do want to make a few for Christmas gifts, and I think this fabric will be really cute for that. I'll probably give it to the people I want to make them for early, so of course they can enjoy the Christmas theme during December. But yeah, I think this would make really, really cute scrunchies. In the future, I would like to release scrunchies. I just need to get a little better at it and also order some tags for them. This turned out so cute, and the little Christmas wristlet. And then I put a little book in there with the pink inner lining that matches these little pink trees. But yeah, definitely cute, especially if you like Pinkmas. And then I also really love how the wristlet turned out. It just looks nice and classic Christmas. So love those. So now I'm gonna sew up another scrunchie. I made a scrunchie in not last week's video, but the video before that. And I'm just having so much fun making them. I also made one in my last Instagram reel. They're really easy, so let's go ahead and pick out some fabric. My mom really wants some scrunchies, so this one's gonna be for her. All right, which fabric do I wanna use for a scrunchie? This could be really pretty as a scrunchie. I think I'm gonna use this fabric. But then this weekend, I'll film my entire Christmas collection, so you guys will be able to see all the fabrics. So we'll be sewing lots of book sleeves and wristlets in that video. This video, I just kind of wanted to make it an assortment of sewing, as well as show you guys a little bit of sneak peeks of fabrics that are coming. But yeah, let's go ahead and cut this fabric out. This turned out really cute, and I know my mom is going to love it. I'm also going to be giving her the scrunchie I made in my last Instagram reel. I also made a smaller one in my, not last week's video, but the video before that. And this one is a little bit like bigger, and her hair is a lot thicker than mine. So I tried to make both of these a little bit bigger. That way they would hold her hair really well. And I have some little threads I need to trim on this one. But I've been loving sewing scrunchies. They're really fun to make and easy, and they're just so cute. And what's better than wearing something handmade? And when you're out, if someone says, oh my gosh, I really love your scrunchie, you can say that you made it. And I would really love to launch scrunchies sometime in the future. I just want to really perfect it and make sure I have the sewing down. I also need to order some sew-in tags, which I think will help a lot with the closure seam. I don't think it'll be as noticeable if I had a sew-in tag. I'm going to try and sew a boxy bag. I've only made one, so I have a feeling it's gonna be pretty time consuming. Hopefully I will not lose light before I get it done, but I'm definitely gonna need to pull up another tutorial. I cannot remember anything from when I made that first boxy bag. So let's go ahead and pick out the fabric for a boxy bag and get started. Okay, for this, I think I might actually use this fabric. I think that could look really cute as a little makeup bag, boxy bag. So let's use this. I also have a lot of this, I guess not a lot, but a decent amount of this inner lining. So I think we're gonna do that. I think that'll be really cute, especially for the rest of fall. So I forgot, I actually bought a pattern from Rosie Caldwell for a boxy toiletry bag. I had all of these underneath this table, so I'm gonna try and use it finally. I bought these quite a long time ago, so I need to figure out which pieces are which. All right, that took me a little bit longer than I'd like to admit to figure out what piece is which, because I've just had these kind of shoved underneath my table for quite some time. They were not in order at all, but I think I got it, so I need to actually cut these out. Unfortunately, we are losing light fast, so let's go ahead and get started. So before I actually cut the fabric to match the pattern, we're going to quilt it first. That way we can just make sure that the fabric doesn't end up too small once we get to the shrinkage from quilting. So let me grab my batting. All right, this definitely took some time. Now I need to press it so I can get it nice and flat before I actually cut out the pattern. But quilting is probably the most time-consuming part, especially when it is pieces this large. But I'm hopeful that it's going to turn out really cute. Even if it's not perfect, it's just for me, and I'm sure I'll be fine with it. And yes, I know I am ironing on my cutting mat, but honestly, I just can't be bothered with moving it right now because I'm gonna have to use it again for my inner pieces. So I'm not too worried about it. So what Rosie does is she folds this in half. That way you have a really nice like center starting point where you can then line that up with one of your quilt lines to make sure it's nice and straight. And go ahead and pin this in place. All right, I have the two outer piece patterns cut out and quilted. So now I need to cut out the inner lining and the zipper pulls. Okay, that is the definition of trust the process. So let's turn it out and see how it looks. I'm not expecting much here. Very confusing with the corners. Does that actually work? It's actually, well, it doesn't really have any structure, but it actually worked, which is very surprising. I did not think that was gonna work with how it was looking. The only downside I'm seeing is the batting I used does not have any structure, but it is a boxy bag. Cute. All right, let me sew this inner lining. Uh-oh, what's happening here? There we go. Cool, I can just sew the inner lining closed and I should be good to go. So that actually worked and I was able to create a boxy bag. Like I said, the downside is the batting I used does not have any structure, but I made another little boxy bag. That was a very questionable pattern with the way that I did the corners because it just looks like a huge mess. And like I said, definitely trust the process on this pattern, but I think it turned out really cute and the zipper actually looks pretty good with the little zipper pulls. But there's my little boxy bag. Very cute. But that is it for this video. As you could probably tell, it is already dark out, but I had a lot of fun sewing these projects. Stay tuned for next week's video where I will be sewing my entire Christmas collection. I'll also be designing some Christmas bookmarks and maybe even some stickers. So I'll see you next week. Bye.